Good morning, Kim, and welcome back to the Salonpreneur magazine podcast. This month we're going to be talking about, or this quarter even, we're talking about our autumn edition, which is amazing, wonderful front cover by Alicia Yard, MUA, and I know everybody that's seen this is such an impactful image, and I think it kind of sums up everything that the magazine is about this quarter. And obviously, they've got all of our regulars in there, but we do have a big feature this quarter celebrating and embracing Black History Month, of which your article is part of that feature. And so Kim, would you like to hang on? We'll just go. Kim's article in this one is on page 45, and it's called "Confidence to Understand and Treat Melanin Rich Skin." Now, you and I have had a lot of conversations around this. We've been involved in a little bit of a movement that's starting, trying to aid and push forward melanin-rich treatments and understanding. And this is all kind of like, we decided to do this, and you and I had a chat with Helen Cocker, who's also writing for the magazine now, about how we can push forward working on textured hair and melanin rich skin in the industry. And that's where your article has kind of sprung from, but also because you've got some amazing information that you can share about something new that you're offering. So I will stop talking and you just tell us a little bit about the article and what it's about and how you can help people.
Okay, so the article really focuses on the melanin rich skin, which people used to call it a black skin or a white Caucasian skin. Now, the world has changed so much that we now have ethnicities mixing together.
Yeah.
Okay. Absolutely. And we have so many different skin tones. So, and we also need to be not just thinking about somebody who's Afro-Caribbean or African. When we're talking about melanin rich skin, we're talking about Chinese, Japanese, people from Dubai, India, they've all got melanin rich skin at some level. And what we say when we say melanin rich skin, we mean that their skin has got much more melanin pumping into it from melanocytes and bringing it out, so it clouds it more together. And with a Caucasian skin, it's more scattered, so they don't have that. Yeah. But also, what we found is that people are very scared. And I think a lot of that has come from when we were training originally, that people said, oh no, don't touch skin of color. Oh God, it'll do this, it'll do that. Everything will go wrong. Now, the thing is, first of all, I always say to people is, you haven't got to spend any more money than you have spent, unless you haven't got a wood lamp. And they're not that expensive, right? No. Most of the products that are out there now, and your products that are sitting, that you're using, your professional products, can be used. It's just how you're going to do your consultation. That is the thing.
Yeah.
A wood lamp is absolutely a must because it really shows up about the skin, melanin rich skin, and it's how you do your consultation. So
I was just gonna say is I think that's one of the things I know that we were discussing as part of the change makers that we were talking with when we did our round table, which is available on the FHT October Summit. But on that, we were saying that our education is so poor when it comes to anything other than a white Caucasian skin. It doesn't matter whether it is someone that's Japanese, someone that's of mixed heritage, somebody that's African, someone that's Indian, someone that's from the Philippines. It doesn't matter where they're from. There's a lack of knowledge and therefore a lack of confidence in using the right language, in using the right terminology. And I think that this is what's so important about what you've written about in the article, isn't it?
Absolutely. And it's like people are scared of upsetting people, in the language that they use. So the way that I would do it is that the client comes in, and I sit them down. And before we start, I say, okay, normally they've completed the form, haven't they? So I
Yeah.
said, I'm going to look through your form and we're going to do an in-depth consultation. Now, in this in-depth consultation, there are questions I'm going to ask you about your ethnicity, maybe your grandmother, your dad, etc. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I want to make sure that this treatment is correct for you, that there is no negative effects from this treatment, that I'm setting my machines or using the correct product for your particular skin type. So we get a result that you are looking for.
Yeah.
And so that you feel confident that there's not going to be anything wrong with your treatment.
Yeah.
And by
Absolutely.
telling them that, they go, oh yeah, okay, yes. And they actually sometimes quite often go, yeah, my dad was this, my mum was this, my grandma was this, and this. They just spit it out. And then you go, oh, right, great, okay. And then look at things such as remembering that just because they've got a white skin, right? And maybe some have got blue eyes.
Yeah.
Do not take that as that they've got no melanin rich skin in there.
No. No.
Because I've had a situation when I was examining a student that the client came in, I'm looking at the client, I'm thinking, something got all right with this client, what is it? Anyway, the student set the parameters for the laser removal. And I said to them, have you actually asked your client about their ethnicity? Said no. I said, I suggest you do. So she did. And the lady came back saying, oh, yes, my dad's Pakistan and my mum's Irish.
Wow.
Wow. Check those parameters because we
This is it, because
don't know.
no, and we don't know, do we? You know, I think this is one of the challenges as therapists, is that people can present with a gene pool that has given them a look that makes you believe something.
Exactly.
And sometimes we have to challenge that, no matter how much you believe. It's like I've got, and I know we've had this conversation about my heritage, and we know I've got features that could make you consider that I may have lots of different backgrounds. I have had people that have asked me if I'm mixed heritage. I've had people ask me if I'm Spanish. I've had people ask me if I'm Irish, if I've got Irish heritage.
Yes.
But we know my son did his DNA, and we know that probably quite a few of my features, we've got a Filipino somewhere.
Oh, wow.
And so, and he's got 4%. So the likelihood is that I've got slightly more, but it kind of makes sense of what I look like.
Exactly. This is
and,
it.
and why I get like a curly hair, because a lot of Filipino people have quite curly hair.
Exactly.
And so, you know, so it actually answers quite a lot of questions that we were like, you know, where do we come from? And
yes,
I think all
exactly.
of us, no matter how we look, it's
it.
interesting to know, isn't
and
it?
sometimes it actually jumps a generation and goes into the next.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, right. So you have a real, deep dive. But the thing is, there's nothing to fear because we already know. We're already skilled and know about, melanin rich skin. There are tiny nuances and things within that, and things that you've got to risk assess and etc. And that is what I've written about within this. So reading the article should give you much more confidence about actually how you're going to treat that skin and the nuances within it.
Yeah.
So and some of the keloid, that's what people worry about a lot.
And also hyperpigmentation as well, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's a contraction that can occur.
Yes, that can occur. But hyperpigmentation, remember, can be across both skins as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the region. But keloid also can be about both skins.
Yeah.
And it's you need to do a very deep consultation because, as an example, I have tattoos. I've had my eyebrows done. No problem at all. But I've got huge on my tummy keloid scarring where I've had surgery.
Okay.
Now that makes no sense, does it?
No, because if you said that on a consultation, we go, whoa.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I've had, you know, I've got tattoos on my legs and on my back and I've chest, nothing. But on the
But is that, but actually, and can I ask, because for me, as a therapist that hasn't been trained very deeply melanin rich, if you told me that you had keloid scars, I would avoid doing anything abrasive to your skin, and I would avoid doing anything penetrative to your skin or invasive to your skin. So is there a point when we just go, okay, we're going to listen to our clients and they're going to explain to us?
That's it. That's exactly it. Listen to the client and really dig into what is their home care routine and things. Because a lot of people with a skin, melanin rich skin, their skin is very dry and dehydrated.
Indeed.
It really, really is. And what they tend to do is use products, which is getting rid of the shine and the this and the other, really abrasive things. And then what does the skin do? Pump out more sebum to try and counteract that. So you look at them and you go, oh, they've obviously got, no, check out what they are doing at home, please. You know, I think things may have changed, but there's still people out there who are doing things like that.
And I had a client, she was visiting, she was, I can't think where she was now, from I think Ghana or Nigeria, that she was visiting her daughter, who was one of my clients. And her daughter booked her to have this particular treatment that was, she booked her to have microdermabrasion. And I was a bit, and she then explained to me that she was exfoliating her skin with heavy duty exfoliators, probably 3 or 4 times a week, and had been for most of her adult life.
God.
And I refused to do the treatment on her because it just didn't sit well with me. I mean, she had no visible effects on her skin.
How long do we know before those effects come? And again, you're spot on. They do a lot of exfoliation, but it's not necessary.
No,
absolutely not. Yes, yes, the cornea is slightly thicker on the hands and places like that, but on the face, it's not. It can be sensitive, and quite often people can't see the sensitivity because it's a deep red or purple. So all I say to people is go cautious. Use your lowest setting. See what the reaction from the actual client is, while that treatment is going on. Find out what their general reaction is when they're doing, you know, things. Do they get a reaction? So keep it close and build something step by step. But one of the important things I will say is, when you're going to have somebody come in with melanin rich skin, the first thing you probably need to do is give them a routine to go and get that skin balanced before you start any treatments. But be brave about it, because you really know what you're doing. And once, I mean, like I've said before, is that I put together a course. Well, there's 2 that's running at the moment.
You're adding to it already.
Well, no, what has happened is that I did an event at which was asked to talk about melanin rich skill, and people were asking me if I'd do a quick masterclass. So I'm going to do a quick masterclass of 2 hours for people to get the gist of it. Which is coming up in November online. But the main thing is that we've now created a level 2 award in melanin rich skin, which is Ofqual accredited.
Wonderful.
We started with a level 2 because that's really where you want to start. You want to start to understand.
Because you need that information when you're first starting out, don't you?
Exactly.
Because it's going to embed and be part of your foundation.
That's it. And we wanted to see how people took to that before we thought, okay, we're going to move on now and do a level 3 and maybe a level 4. But even at level 2, we put it in all of the pathways of whatever people are doing, whether it's injectables, meso, you know, anything that they're doing. We put that as part of the learning within the pathway. The course is totally online. and the course itself is £300 to do, which is
really good value. And I think for
really good value.
anybody that has not studied this in depth,
Absolutely.
because you know, and this is part of the discussion that we've had, isn't it, with the change makers, is that
Absolutely.
you know, we know that the national occupational standards changed.
Yes.
And we know that due to the bureaucracy that surrounds all the awarding organisations, they currently, in most instances, have not updated yet.
No, they haven't.
And it's such a shame. And we know that this has happened to all of the NOS that have been updated in the last few years. All of that wonderful new knowledge is still not being put into our foundation education. And so you took the ball by the horns, Kim, and made it be available. And I think the fact that it's an award, it's an awarding organisation, regulated qualification.
Yes.
Is this is a real piece of CPD. This isn't, as much as it's an online course, it's not one of those online courses. This is a real valuable piece of education.
Know it, you've got to pass the written word within it. I mean, it was a real challenge to write, because on my previous items that I'd written it in deep. You do
like going deep, detailed.
So I had to kind of bring it down to a level.
Yeah. But I think it's great, and it's a good experience for you. But I think that any of us in the industry that know you know that your depth of knowledge is so deep, and your ability to put that information across to people and be accessible is one of the things that you're so amazing at. And I'm just so glad that you've done this, because I think it's really, really needed. And I just wish that somebody, we know that there's a lot of textured hair courses and stuff that are growing out there, but it would be really, really good if if this just became our normal. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be CPD. It should be part of our foundation education.
That's it.
And I hope that this is a step in the right direction of doing that.
You look at what they're saying in the 50-50, there's going to be so many melanin rich skins out there.
Yeah, I think it's over, isn't it saying like 60% or 70%? It's a huge number, absolutely huge number.
That's it, coming through the door. So, it was a pleasure to write this, and I really hope everybody actually looks at the magazine, purchase the magazine, and learn about melanin rich skin.
It's because this,
treat it.
Yeah, because I think your article that's in the magazine is like, it's a drop in the ocean of the knowledge that you need, but it just gives you an indication of how to start and how to start moving forward and understanding that you do need to do things a little bit differently. We can cause contra actions for our clients. In most cases, we're not going to. But but there are going to be skins that are more sensitive. And I think this is the thing as well. I think people don't understand that a different toned skin can be so sensitive. And I think we have this belief, yes, the cornea is slightly stronger, is slightly thicker, so you believe therefore it must be stronger, it must be able to take more. But that is actually not the truth, is it?
No, that's myth. In part of some of my online courses that I do, as I said, the master, I do the myth breaker. Is this true or false? But a few, and it's amazing what people think about as true, like you say. Oh yes, you can whip up that microneedling and that.
No, absolutely not. I think it's such a shame, isn't it, that we, and I don't know where it all comes from. I suppose it is just a lack of education, isn't it? Because you have to fill the gaps yourself.
That's
currently. And I think that lack of information, lack of knowledge is never a good place to be, because it doesn't make you confident in your business. And one of the things that we were saying, I think, isn't what is the black skin, the amount of money that's spent in black skin care, or like toned skin?
Billions. Yes, I've written it in there.
Billions. I can't. But it's billions of pounds, and as businesses, we are losing out. Just because you're a white therapist doesn't mean that you can't advertise for and treat different toned skin. You've got an opportunity for so much revenue.
And as long as you're welcoming and they know when you're talking about it with confidence,
Yeah.
Who cares what color you are doing it? The best hairdresser I had was a white gentleman from Australia doing my hair.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
best hairdresser ever.
Yeah. And I think it's just a case, isn't it, of people being confident in the skills that they have. And actually, one thing I keep coming back to with this is because so much of what we talk about around melanin rich skin is around facial skincare.
Yes.
And myself now, I no longer provide those services. I now only provide bodywork services. So I literally am a holistic therapist, and that's what I do now. So are there any tips that, or any pointers that for people that are body workers with, is there anything we should avoid when we're working on
so
different
much,
tones?
not so much to avoid. What you really need to, when you're doing your body work, is make sure that they're exfoliating the body well. They're immediately moisturizing, because the body, the skin on the body is so dry. It really becomes more than dehydrated, but dry. And you'll see that as flaky skin, white skin when you touch it. And so at that point, you need to say to them, you need to be using maybe body oils as well, but making sure that all the time that you do work. You find with body work as well that we like a stronger pressure massage on things, especially on the thighs and on the back. We tend to have a lot of locked muscles in those particular areas and things like that. But anything which is going to pump in, you're making your aromatherapy oils or whatever, excellent. Yes.
That's it. So basically, so really, if we're looking to provide services for people that have got melanin rich skin, it would be really good to kind of focus on the rehydration and the and let's just put some really good nutrients into your skin. So maybe look at some, making some of your own oil blends that have got, maybe a bit of avocado in there, something like that, because it's such a deeper oil.
That's fantastic on the skin. Going with that mixture of oils that are gonna get in there.
Because I think as well, isn't it, people, one of the challenges with melanin rich skin is that it can be less absorbent, can't it? And it's harder to get things to go as deep as we would on a Caucasian skin.
Because sometimes you find that if you look at my arm, you'd struggle to see where the pores were. And I've never had hairs on my arms or on my legs. Don't ask me why. Don't know.
Lucky. A lot of people say it's very, very fortunate.
But yes, you'd find that. But again, that's because quite often on the body, what they should do is things like body brushing. That's enough, and that's gentle enough. Don't want them to go home and start getting out that
the big scrubby things.
Body brushing is more than enough. A gentle body scrub is more than enough. And then rich, very rich, advanced moisturizer on the skin straight away, because it's when they've come out the shower or bath and the pores are open at that.
That's it. Best time to get that in there.
Jump in there.
I think the thing is that there's so many, every treatment, and I'm just thinking, like there's also like waxing and stuff that we need to think differently about, don't we? Because of there's more chance of ingrown hairs and folliculitis and all that kind of stuff.
So I always tell people when they're going for a wax, please exfoliate at least 3 days before, and then leave that 24-hour gap, 48-hour gap before you go in, right? And bring that. But what you find is you've got to be very careful of your temperature as well, because it's very easy for the skin to be lifted on the skin of color. And it can be difficult. But once you start the process and they've had it, say, 2 or 3 times, the hairs jump out. They turn around and go, I'm not fighting this any longer.
But I think so much of it is just, is embracing having a clientele that has variations in their skin tone.
Absolutely.
And you know, and as you do that, you grow more confident, and then,
Yes.
you know, and then the thing, and it's awful, isn't it, to bring it down to like the revenue streams, but it is so important, because all the time you're opening your client, you know, your ideal client list, you're opening your revenue streams. And
Absolutely. I don't think people realize how much they're losing.
yeah, yeah,
Turn on the investment. You
that's
know,
it.
they need to be put. I've noticed though that people are now becoming more inclusive on their websites. I've
Yeah,
noticed that.
yeah,
Yeah. But sometimes they're not transferring that to their social media.
yes, indeed. I
That's
think
what
this
I'm
is it.
finding.
It's about consist. You know, if you think about branding, isn't it? It's like, you know,
Yeah,
you want that branding to be the same, whether you're on a leaflet going through someone's letterbox, whether you've got a
exactly.
notice in a shop window, whether it's your price list,
Yes,
whether it's your website, whether it's your socials. You want your branding to all be the same, and you have to think about the
exactly.
images that you use and the language you use being
In
the
this
same everywhere. So you can't. It's all very well having an image of a multiracial group of women on your website, but if
but
you're but
yeah, you're going onto social media, there's nothing.
yeah,
Zilch.
yeah,
You've got to carry that through.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's like, as a person, you know, with melanin rich skin, if I pick up someone's leaflet and they go, and they've got somebody of melanin, I go, oh, I didn't know they did skin,
yeah,
melanin rich skin. Oh, I
yeah,
might give them a go.
yeah. This is it, isn't it? It's
That's a
small,
client.
yeah, small touches, isn't it? And just letting people know
Absolutely.
that you
Yes,
provide that, and that, you know, and use that, you know, use those words on your website and put it into your SEO, because then when
exactly.
people are looking for those services, you are going to come up. If you've got it on your Google business profile, you know,
Exactly.
create your own service for melanin rich skincare, like for
Absolutely.
melanin
Yes.
rich skin services. You know,
Yes.
create it, and then the Google crawlers will find you. Get visible.
Exactly. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
But I think
absolutely.
people are slowly starting to do that. And
Yeah,
I'm seeing that as a very positive thing. I'm thinking, okay, people are starting to sit up,
yeah,
take note
absolutely.
of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Well, let's hope that you get a really amazing take up on your course, Kim, because I think it's so needed, so valuable. And I think for the investment people are going to have to make, it's a small piece of money that's going to potentially give you a huge skill that is much, much needed and will help your businesses grow.
absolutely.
So thank you so much for joining me today, Kim.
Thank you.
And I look forward to chatting with you on our January edition. I
Yeah,
don't know what you're going to be writing about then. Do you know what you're writing about yet for
I
the
think
next one?
I'm looking at education actually.
I
Yes,
think we
I'm
had a
not
chat
going to
about this, didn't
tell
we,
you
actually?
exactly what in education.
Mm.
Going to keep that for a nice surprise.
Okay, that's lovely. I will look forward to doing the proofs and editing on that. And yeah, and I'll speak to you next time.
Thank you so much.
Okay.